The rest of the blood work came back normal, but the iron level had plummeted to a terrifyingly low point. Holly had never seen such poor readings in a living person before. Report in hand, she walked to music, numbly back to the ward. The atmosphere was thick with tension. Numerous police officers surrounded the ward, and Samuel was still holding onto Captain Lincoln without releasing him. On their way here, Captain Lincoln had tried countless times to break free from Samuel's grip, but the guy Shamusic didn't give him a single opening. Spotting Holly approaching, Captain Lincoln said, "Samuel Morgan, the medical report is out. If you keep holding me hostage, you won't be forgiven anymore. Our snipers are in position. As soon as it's confirmed the suspect isn't actually sick, they can take all of you out immediately. I suggest you put down your gun and surrender right now." Samuel shot back, "Stop bluffing." Captain Lincoln was furious. "Dr. Sims, since these people are so stubborn, Shamusic tell everyone what the medical results say so they can stop pretending. Can anemia really cause death?" All eyes immediately turned to Holly. She tightened her jaw and said gravely, "Kira's iron levels are dangerously abnormal. Her life is at risk. Captain Lincoln, we made a mistake." Captain Lincoln was stunned. "What?" Holly Shamusic stepped forward and showed the report to Captain Lincoln. The normal iron level in a female's blood is between 10 and 30 microliters per liter. However, Kira's iron level is just 1, which means she has a severe deficiency and her life is in immediate danger. Captain Lincoln was completely floored. Then, a scolding voice suddenly cut through. "What's going on here? Shouldn't she have gotten an IV yesterday? Why is she only receiving iron now?" Everyone turned to look, and a gentle-looking man around 30 with gold-rimmed glasses walked toward them. Shamusic. He was wearing a white lab coat and stared at Samuel with a grim expression. "She can't remember the timing?" Shamusic twarch. "But did you forget it too?" Feeling guilty under the reprimand, Samuel looked at Holly. "It's all because of this forensic doctor. She kept insisting Kira was fine, even after Kira passed out." Growing more agitated, he added, "Do you need someone to die before you admit something's wrong?" Being scolded like that, Holly clenched her fists. So embarrassed Shamusic, she wished the ground would swallow her whole. She glanced into the ward. Kira was receiving the drip. Her face was pale and she looked lifeless. Holly felt tears welling up. Why hadn't she trusted Kira? Shamusic? She slapped herself out of anger, stubborn tears spilling from her eyes. "It was my fault." Samuel didn't know what to say. Shamusic? He hadn't expected his words to bring the young woman to tears, which made him hold back any further harsh remarks. He then turned to Captain Lincoln. "Isn't this because you have a bias against rich kids? Just because some wealthy folks got away with things in past cases, does that mean all rich people are Shamusic bad? Let me tell you something. Because we're rich. We haven't faced much trouble since we were young, which means we have even stronger principles when it comes to doing things." Captain Lincoln's mouth music twitched. Samuel felt he hadn't said enough. All along the way, he'd been terrified Captain Lincoln might snatch the gun. If that happened, he'd fail to save his boss, and they'd both end up in jail. So he raised his voice even more. "If you hadn't refused to let her go, would we have done this? We're law-abiding citizens." Samuel started patting his own chest. "You still want to use snipers on us now? Here, aim at me." He handed the gun back to Captain Lincoln, pointing it at his own chest, and said, "Kill me with one shot. Go ahead, shoot. If my boss dies because of you, I don't want to live either." Captain Lincoln was at a loss for words. The officers around him were all stunned. Shamusic looking at the gun in his hand. Captain Lincoln glanced at the situation in the ward, still somewhat confused. But how could someone be this severely anemic? The officer following him was equally puzzled. Yes, her music, her blood work was normal just yesterday, and today she suddenly took a turn for the worse. In games, health bars drop gradually. Why did hers plummet all at once? Char music. Like a character with a tiny health bar? Samuel couldn't believe what he was hearing. His mouth twitched, and he was about to scold them when Holly spoke up. What disease does she have? Her voice was full of worry, and Samuel felt bad about yelling at them. Upon hearing that, Cha-Cha Music, Cha-Cha Matthew, the doctor, frowned. Didn't I already tell you? She has genetic iron deficiency anemia. It's a rare condition. Her body doesn't absorb any iron. She has to rely entirely on IV drips. Holly asked anxiously, how could she have such a condition? I've never heard of it before. Matthew adjusted his glasses, his sharp eyes piercing behind the lenses. He said calmly, have you heard of every disease in the world? Even if you don't believe it, when she became ill, didn't she show all sorts of symptoms? You just didn't notice. Holly lowered her head. I'm sorry, Matthew said. What good does your apology do me? You should apologize to the person inside. Cha-Cha Music. Torture. Holly tightened her jaw and looked into the ward, but she didn't dare to go in. She hesitated for a long time and ultimately just stood outside. Matthew had already entered the ward. As soon as he stepped in, he saw Louis standing next to the bed. Louis slowly turned his head. Their eyes met, and neither spoke for a moment. Louis's deep gaze swept over Matthew, and he quickly noticed the latter's special feelings toward Kira. He asked to Music with a displeased tone, and you are her attending Hey Music doctor. After Matthew said that, he added, and also her godbrother. Louis's pupils abruptly contracted. After a pause, he stood up and extended his hand to Matthew with a smirk on his face. Her Music, hello, godbrother. Matthew frowned. I'm her godbrother. And mine as her Music, well? Louis said in a light tone, but his presence was overwhelming. We're husband and wife, after all. Husband and wife? Matthew stiffened suddenly. She didn't tell you? Then I apologize to you on her behalf, Louis said in a deep voice. Matthew was shocked. Kira felt like she'd slept for a very long time. In her dream, Cha Music, she became younger, returning to the way she was when she was 3 years old. She was looking out of a basement window, Trust Music, Torch watching Isla running around outside in a beautiful dress, while Mrs. Olsen gently wiped the sweat off Ila's face. Shorky Music Chua. Suddenly, the door creaked open. Poppy walked in. Ha! Kira shivered. Poppy's vicious eyes locked onto her. Following Kira's gaze, she saw the scene outside Shim Music and walked over, grabbed Kira's hair, and brutally shoved her head into a basin of water next to her. Kira heard Poppy's voice through the water, in and out, as if coming from a distant place. What are you looking at? My daughter should live like a princess, and you're only fit for a sewer. You belong in the drainage. Kira felt her dream turning into She Music a nightmare. To listen to the full audio series, install the Pocket FM app now.